came like a king and left like a legend.
Zero people.
That's one of the most stupid questions.
Zero people.
I play all my season. Was shit.
Buongiorno a tutti. Welcome to Italian Wednesdays. In today's episode, we're going to discuss what happens in Serie A so far and why Milan is top. Wow, and not Juventus. That's amazing, actually. If we think about it, a lot of games have been played, a lot of draws and a lot of drama and a lot of Zlatan. This and much more in today's episode of Italian Wednesday at the Worst Football Podcast. Hello guys, welcome to the Worst Football Podcast. Welcome to Italian Wednesday. And today we're going to review what happened in Serie A and look forward to what will happen next weekend. And for that, we need Ste and Marco. Hi guys.
Hey Alex.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao a tutti, indeed.
Very well. Italian Wednesday, guys. So give me a brief summary. How's it looking in Serie A? Juventus first, right?
Of course, yes. Oh no, wait, what happened? Milan?
I still can't believe my eyes, guys. I still can't believe what I see.
Well, you're not the only one, really. I think every single journalist, critic, coach, fan at a certain point said, well, Milan did well so far, but it's over now, right? And yet, still they are. 3 wins in a row. 4 out of the last 5 games won. So far, not a single game lost. I mean, it's an impressive round of form, really. And everyone was identifying Ibrahimovic as the key, but even without him, yeah,
that's the thing, right? I myself was identifying Ibrahimovic as the key, and when he got injured, I would say that maybe our winning streak would be over. But then we kept winning, and then Kier, who's the leader of the defense for Milan, also got injured. But then we kept winning, and same goes for Benacer and Leao. And it just feels like Pioli, the manager, made an incredible job with Milan this year.
Yeah, he really found the key for the team, how to gel everyone together, how to give a logic to the team and a good tactic that brings the best of each player. And next game should be an easy one as well, at least from the look of things. Parma is really not performing well. It's 4 points from relegation, but it's there's only Fiorentina between them and the first third from last, so first relegated team. So not doing well, not many goals scored actually from Parma. It's quite a stale attack. They managed to win not the last game they won before, thanks to Gervinho just being an amazing player, probably the best out of the Parma 11. But not an incredible team. So from the look of things, Milan should win this one. Is there anything that I'm missing in this game, Stefano? Should Milan be worried for this game?
Well, I'm always worried when Milan plays against my boy Gervinho, but hopefully he's not going to punish us too hard this time. At least I hope so.
Yeah, and from the first in the league, let's move to the second. Inter, incredible transfer market window. I think we've all been shocked that after Eriksen in January, they still managed to get amazing players such as Hakimi and Vidal and still confirming Alexis Sanchez. Like, just an incredible team. In my opinion, the best squad of the league if you look at the individuals. At the same time, despite being second, they are 5 points behind Milan. And the performance hasn't been that impressive, at least in my opinion. Many games were just won at the very last minute, or simply because Lukaku is, well, altogether with Ibrahimovic, the strongest striker in the league, in my opinion. Yes, better than Cristiano Ronaldo. The form is just amazing.
Shock.
Are you though?
Yes, but we will come to it later. You know what I really noticed about Inter that is different against both the Bianconeri and the Rossoneri? They have a multitude of people scoring goals. Whilst in Juve's side, you have only Ronaldo, and we'll get back to it later. And at Milan, you have basically only Zlatan so far. You have a bit of Kessié with 4 goals, but Inter no. Inter, you have Lukaku, yes, with 8 goals, but then you have also Lautaro and Hakimi. Now, in this game, as you can see, bringing more to the team. So that's the main difference with Inter. It looks like they have more people who can score goals and not only living up one person.
Yeah, that's true. And they also confirmed over the past couple of games, right, with the wins, that even without Lukaku, they can find a way for the goal. I think Conte is finally getting to a point where he feels confident and comfortable in not playing one of the starting 11 strikers, at least on paper, which is Lautaro and Lukaku. So he's been just doing a little bit of turnover between the 3 up front. But yeah, the game is against Cagliari, which on paper should be an easy one. Though I think that teams such as Cagliari can really pose a threat to Inter. I haven't seen Inter being too comfortable against small but teams that have a lot of quality. Over the past game, many goals have just been overpowered defender by the strikers, either because of the technique of Lautaro or because of the sheer strength of Lukaku. And I think Cagliari could pose a threat. They have a couple of good teams. Definitely not a team that is in form. We have to give that to Cagliari. But after the game that Inter is going to play in Champions League, which is going to be quite key, I think they might suffer in the league afterwards, simply because the effort and the 110% they're probably going to give in Champions League to go through.
Well, guys, I don't know if I'm the only one experiencing this, but every time I close my eyes, I picture Eriksen's depressed face in my head when he got in at the 91st minute. I mean, what was that? That was pure bullying. Come on. Why does Conte have to do that? I don't understand. I'm so triggered by the way Eriksen is being treated that I don't know what to say.
To be honest, I think it would be just better not to play him. It would be way more
respectful. That's
respectful. Yeah, precise. That's
should
what I was looking for.
Should we start a free Eriksen campaign? #, free Eriksen?
Yes.
I probably should.
Yes.
No, I think Eriksen went to most for his own sake. Amazing player. I mean, we all remember the T-shirts that Denmark was doing for a World Cup and Euro Cup. Tactics of Denmark team: give the ball to Eriksen. If goal, basically enjoy the goal. If not goal, get the ball back, give the ball to Eriksen, and so on. Like, that was Denmark's tactic. Give the ball to Eriksen and hope. He's an amazing player. I don't get it, but Conte just wants people running. And it's quite interesting from connecting to what Gattuso just said this week. He mentioned that he would never play himself in this Napoli. He wants quality player because football nowadays is about quality, not about the strength and the running and the being a pain in the ass, which on the other hand, Conte likes. Quite interesting to see this difference in mindset between Napoli and Inter. And Napoli, yes, only quote-unquote 20 points out of 10 games, but we should remember that it's actually 21 points out of 9 games, basically. Because what happened is that they have given a win to Juventus because they didn't show up. So 3 points were lost there. And they got 1 point of penalization. So still quite a strong team, good performance. If you look of things, is potentially up to 24 points really, which Gattuso is really making quite an effort there as well after the depressing Napoli that Ancelotti was showing over the past year. He was on the bench of Napoli.
Yeah, I would argue that when they do show up and play, Napoli are way more convincing than Inter. But that's when they show up and play, right?
That is true, guys. That is true. And another team that we need to discuss, because we didn't discuss them first or second, is Juventus. So in theory, bad season because it's also inflated with the win, 3-0 win that Marco explained over Napoli. In theory, though, but then if we look at the numbers, they haven't lost yet. So they have 5-1, 5 drawn. That's more the issue is there's draws. So I'd be the first one to criticize Juventus and saying they're being poor. But I think they are for a simple reason. And it's in two letters and one digit, CR7. Not because of what he's not playing, but when he is not playing. Those 5 draws, there is an interesting thing about all of them. The 2 of them are against Roman teams, Roma and Lazio. 2-2 against Roma and 1-1 with Lazio. So 3 goals scored by Juventus. And who scored all 3? Cristiano.
Yeah, the boy.
And those are 2 of the 5 draws. Then we had another 3 draws, always 1-1 with Crotone, Verona, and Benevento. So all of these very easy winnable games. What happens in all of the 3 of them? No Cristiano. I looked at this in terms of the goals scored. They're averaging 2 goals scored, which is the same per game, which is the same they had last season in which they won the title. And goals suffered, actually, they suffered 1.1 goals per game last season. And this one, they're at 0.8. So actually, they're statistically better than last season. But the issue here is, again, no Cristiano in those matches that make the difference of those 6 points to Milan, who has 8 wins and 2 draws.
So are you suggesting, Alex, that there might be just a slight Ronaldo dependency on Juventus, or what?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it slight. I would say it's total. I think there's something that should be analyzed in Juventus, though. First of all, we are comparing last season, which eventually led to Sarri's departure, so probably wasn't such a good season either, right? With this one, that's the first thing that I would like to counter as a counter argument. But the second thing is we really need to look at the team and compared to last year, which player is valued more that Juventus owns? My personal opinion, none. Demiral, maybe.
Kulusevski.
Well, is he worth more than 40 millions? That is how much they pay right now. I doubt it. I think all Juventus players that have been bought this summer were interesting player for the future. However, the only one that I think will stay in the long term in Juventus is gonna be Kulusevski. If I'm looking at McKennie, I don't think he's that amazing, not Juventus level amazing, yet he's playing a lot. If I'm looking at Ramsey, which they bought the year prior, I don't think he should be in a team that is aiming to win the Champions League as a starting 11. Betancourt, decent player, not a top player. Bonucci is the weakest of the defense at the moment. We have in Cuadrado that at 30 years old is being reinvented as a wingback, doing probably the best season of his career. But again, I doubt that that's really a player on which you can base the whole team. You have Dybala, who should be your star and key for the future, being on the bench every single game. And you're relying on Morata, which is not even a player you own, other than Ronaldo. That's a Juve team. Like, we need to really analyze. And I think this shows that 2 options. One, they're doing the Real Madrid. So they have agreed and understood that this is going to be a transition year. They're not aiming to do anything but to develop certain key young player. Demiral, De Ligt. We're looking at Betancourt. We're looking at McKennie. We're looking at Morata because he's, either way, relatively young still. And that's the only goal of this season. But if Juve aims to win something, I think they got something wrong this summer. End of the rant.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Marco. I believe that he's right on that. And well, it is true that other players such as Kulusevski are playing very good. Still, come on, like the midfield is a great issue for Juventus. It's not even nearly as good as it should be for a top team such as Juventus. And I believe that they should start working on the midfield when there's the new transfer market window open.
No, which I understand, and I think you are right in your analysis. But again, statistically, they could have been first right now, and there would be no issue. Probably if Ronaldo had played those 3 games, because it's always 1-0. With Ronaldo, he always guarantees you 1 goal.
That's a fair point.
It would, no one would be discussing the issues if Ronaldo had played those 3 games. Let's be honest. At least he would have won alone 2 of those 3. For sure.
Yeah, especially the Benevento game in which he was not even on the bench. That was like, yeah, we are gonna win, whatever. But except that you did not win eventually, so I guess that must be disappointing for Juventus fans.
No,
Talking about disappointment.
And then I would like.
Sorry, Alex, I interrupted you there. But talking about disappointment, can we quickly talk about the American Fiorentina? How they, and allow me the term, are effing up everything they were aiming to do. Because Commisso came in, it's basically the 3rd manager that Commisso brought in, and it's the 3rd manager that is doing awfully. I'm not sure where he got everything wrong, but he's just keep making the same mistake, getting mediocre managers with old ideas of football, expecting that they suddenly would change something with a magic wand, but not really doing anything to change the team. A team that has no striker whatsoever that is at the level of a Serie A, because Ribéry, amazing player, he used to be a wing, he's now a striker, hasn't been ever, and he's 37. Vlahovic is a player that hasn't played from starting 11 basically ever, and Kouame destroyed his knee last year, and he only did a decent season. What is happening?
Looking at the actual team of Fiorentina, if you judge single players individually, they should never be below the 10th position in Serie A, in my opinion. Because individually, they are a good team, but it just feels they can't play together. Like, it feels they forget how to play when they play together. At least that's my feeling.
Yeah, I agree.
And another also very interesting word for Sassuolo. They're having a really interesting season. They were stronger at the start, yes, but still they are honorable mention in terms of their performance.
I think we haven't yet still see everything from Sassuolo. Amazing manager. I think he's really showing why he was so well recognized as a strong manager when he was still in Serie B. At the same time, Boga, which is probably their most up-and-coming player, basically just returns from a long injury. I think when Boga gets fully back and they have Berardi on one wing, Boga on the other, Juricic in the middle, I think that's really going to be painful for any opposition they find up from. So, really good team. I think they really found a good spell. Probably this is the best they can do. I don't expect them to get any better than this. But I would be surprised if they wouldn't be challenging for Europa League until the very last game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, indeed. Just to finish today's episode, I wanted Marco's take on Lazio and Roma. So, who's doing better and why?
Personal preference, Lazio, and not because of the obvious bias that I have because I'm a Lazio fan, but needs to be recognized that Lazio played basically 4 games of these 10 without 5-6 of the starting 11. Lazio is not playing well, but given the number of points they did in the way they did it, I'm extremely pleased that we're still 7th. I think that the Roma was expecting more from this season. Fonseca is proving not to be as solid as a manager as the American ownership was expecting. And on the other hand, you're still relying on old players and the young players that you bought for tons of money over the past years, due to injuries mostly, haven't been performing the way they should. I think Roma doesn't have a structure that allows to win neither this year nor next year in this very moment in time. Lazio has a team that is speaking and that is in Champions League, has still the chance to go through. I think there's more room for Lazio to improve than Roma. That's my personal take. And it might be biased.
I would agree in some extent. Then I would also like to see Edin Dzeko play for Roma. Would be cool whenever, because he was off so long with stupid COVID. That I think also had a big impact on Roma performances, to be honest. And in terms of the structure, as we can see, they are addressing the issue as we speak. So they had a change of sporting director, and they will receive the football director from Benfica starting of 1st of Jan. So let's see if there are going to be some changes there. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for Italian Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Ciao, ciao, guys.
But you know what? Actually, before this episode is over, I believe it is once again time for
Meme section of the day.
So, Alex, Stefano, and listeners, what do you think is the stupidest idea as a management of a football club if you're not paying your own player that very month? Just give me a random idea, brainstorming here, quickly.
Send him on holidays.
That's a good one, but you still need to play games on the weekend, right? So that doesn't really work.
Send him abroad on a diplomatic mission.
That's good, but you have like 20 plus players. How are you going to send everyone to diplomatic missions? You can't. So that's what you do. You don't have money to pay your players. You buy a fucking jet. But you don't buy a good jet. You buy a 30 years old jet from Bulgaria, which is not even yours because you just rent it for a couple of games. Then one of your best players, who's Luis Alberto, and we're talking about Lazio here, of course, decides to criticize the management in a live he does on the internet, saying that, well, they should first probably pay the wages before buying players. Full panic mode. The technical director needs to probably leave the club now because he defended Luis Alberto, saying, actually, he was kind of right, which everyone said, yeah, he was kind of right. But that's not it, because, that's just a little bit of drama. What if, for the first time ever, you bring the airplane and you fly with it to Crotone? Two things happen. First things, there is a video coming out of how the airplane is unsafe and how everyone from the Lazio team was screaming on the plane while it was landing. And B, the airplane cannot fly back from Crotone, so everyone needs to go back with bus. Now, tell me, isn't this the best story ever?
Yeah, I mean, Marco, I was going to say that this almost feels too weird to be real. Like this is just one more sign that our reality has almost surpassed memes now, and our reality is the meme in 2020.
Right? Best meme ever.